And I'm looking at the whole system from the surface, physiological level of the flow of blood through the body as it manifests, as that flow manifests. So we have a cycle of creation coming from the source of creation, going out, and then collapsing back in. And the awareness, we can grab onto the idea of the flow of the circulatory system, the flow of blood, and then we can follow that movement, which is kind of it's a movement like this through the veins and arteries. Follow it back. And how each little wave, as it moves through the veins and arteries, is like a little wave of bliss. It's a little wave that motivates life. And the motivation of life is the motivation to become ever closer to the one, ever closer to the divine, ever closer to God. So each little wave of the blood through the vessels is like a little call of connection between ourselves and the divine, bringing awareness to the feeling of the blood flowing through the body and recognizing each wave of expression, each little pulse through the body as a call for connection. What I'm noticing is a rearrangement of priorities in the mental and emotional bodies. There's so many things that we feel passionate. There's so many things we do. Maybe some of them we don't feel as passionate about as others, but there's so many things that we engage in during the day. And the rearranging of priorities takes, what I see it doing is I see it taking pressure off. I see it removing pressure. We put pressures on ourselves. These are beliefs, and these are beliefs that are justified by impressions and memory patterns that, well, I have to do this and I have to do that, and this needs my attention and that needs my heart really wants to, wants to spend a few minutes doing something beautiful or just resting or whatever, but I feel that the world will fall apart. My world will collapse. I will not be considered lovable by the people around me or the people that are important to me if I don't uphold such responsibilities, and so forth. In the long run, the beauty of putting the relationship with the divine first is that all of a sudden, these justifications, these thoughts that create time pressure and also other types of pressure are seen in perspective. Yeah, and what about in 100,000 years? Is anyone going to care? Is anyone going to care if you did, like, look at me yesterday, I got here late. I got here 2 minutes late. I felt sorry about being late. I tried to be on time, but I didn't quite make it. But the thing is, I have a choice of whether I want to beat myself up big time for having been a couple minutes late to a very important meeting, which is very important to me. It's not like I'm late because I don't care, right? It's just that that's the way the circumstances worked out this time. It's like, as a mama, I've cooked thousands and thousands of meals for my family over the decades. And some of them came out really great. Most of them came out pretty, the general value of those meals has been pretty good, but I've had those meals where I burn stuff, right? Like sometimes it's great and sometimes it's less great. And there's a range in there. And in the end of my days, when I leave this world, are my children going to look back and think, dang, on April 12th, 2011, she burned the lunch, It's like, no, no, we had to eat pizza, no, 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 no. It's the love that I poured into everything I did. That's all that's left in the end. And to create pressure inside ourselves based on those that sort of sense of inappropriately placed priorities, it's done. That's done. You're done with that. You are done with that. This is what's shifting in the mental and emotional bodies, because we have mental priorities, things that we tell ourselves, and then we've also got emotional priorities. Oh, I'm not going to be loved. If I don't give until it hurts, nobody's going to love me. No, you are loved by the divine with everything that is about you, whatever that is, you are loved. And that level of love is so big, it can't even be measured. So that's the foundation. Then we just go from there. Everything else is just icing on the cake. And anyway, the cake doesn't need that much icing, does it? So that becomes the measure. It is the unconditional, incomprehensible, sweetest of all loves that becomes the measure by which priorities are set up. So as the priorities dissolve, the priorities that keep pressure going inside of us all the time dissolve at a mental and emotional level. They are replaced by priorities that center around our long-term relationship with the divine. And let me tell you, that's a really long-term relationship. It doesn't end when we die, and it doesn't end when we take a rebirth, and it doesn't end when we are done with all the lessons that being a human being can give us, and we go and move on to other fields. Never ends. It never ends. It never ends. And ultimately, it's the relationship the divine has with itself. And that is a relationship of such sophistication, of such greatness, that we can explore it till the ends of time and never stop learning from that relationship. Nothing else really comes close to being a priority. Nothing else really comes close. Everything else is frosting on the cake. This is reestablishing patterns of behavior, also in the astral body, of being able to shift awareness into a place of inner peace when things get tough. Being able to lean into your connections to the best alignment possible with universal evolution. So universal evolution is going on, individual evolution is going on, and they work together harmoniously, right? And it's at the astral level that level of relationship establishes. And it establishes on the foundation of the first harmonic, right? It establishes on the foundation that what's really important, what's the priority, is the relationship with the divine. Rearranging. We're just rearranging the pathways a little bit. You're doing it. I'm just reporting it. I'm watching it as we're doing it as a group. I'm watching it and I'm reporting on it. I'm not doing it. It is a privilege for me to see these changes and to report on them. This rearrangement of the priorities and the ways that we connect to the world and to the environment, well, it's setting up synchronies, how things unfold within time and space. That's based on those synchronies, like when you're at the right place at the right time, or you think of somebody, oh, I need to talk to so-and-so, and then they're just like right there and they call you or something. Those synchronies are stabilized in our world based on this rearrangement of the astral body, because the astral body is where we connect energetically with the web of life, where our energetic field connects with the web of life through meridians, right? Through the channels, through which those channels are made of awareness on the move, Awareness moving. Awareness, pure consciousness is being. It is the source, divine being, source of creation material. But when it moves at the level at which it's really active and moving, that's the astral level. I'm saving my charts for next time. It just takes time to translate back and forth to the charts. But so one of the net results of today's healing is more synchrony, more being at the right place at the right time, more having a thought or desire and finding that the means for its fulfillment is just present with you. And flow, I'm seeing a flow, an awakening flow of gratitude and compassion. Gratitude and appreciation. Appreciation, compassion, gratitude, flowing through these newly opened channels. And of course, flowing through us as individuals, flowing from this area of the heart center back to the divine, because this is part of the integration of our relationship with God, is how effortlessly and how spontaneously our appreciation flows. And it's genuine. It's not something that we're trying to do, it just happens. And that level of flow, of appreciation, is something that is so deeply appreciated at the level of infinity, eternity, divine being, God, our personal relationship, however you think of God in a personal way. Absolutely beautiful.